Listen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV. We review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture just to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, we are here, we are back. Let's turn this down. We are back today because we are reviewing our show, Bel Air. All right. Bel Air, Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Let the Best Man Win. Let me put this up for you. Let me put this up for you. Let me put this up for you. Baby, we are really behind on our little stuff, aren't we? What's the name of this again? Let me type it in. All right, let's show that. There it is, right down at the bottom. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. My name is Pamela. You're watching Pam Entertainment TV. Once you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Once you hit the subscribe button, you'll be open to a plethora of playlists of all the shows that I have reviewed thus far. Please check those out. Check those out. Listen, we are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. All right, so what we're going to do, honestly, is, you know how we do with this show and this channel, we go by person, but let me just figure out this right here. We're not going to probably do that to the extent because this was a family reunion. A family reunion. Folks from Yamacraw came through to Bel Air, y'all. Yamacraw came through. So this episode was basically about the Banks family. This is Will's uncle. His family was coming to town because he was hosting the family reunion. So the theme of this whole show is about family. Regardless of how you think family is supposed to be, what consists of a family, this show, this particular episode highlighted family. It also highlighted family dynamics. So let's get on to this. So we discovered that Phil is the younger brother to Bill Bellamy's character. Now, you know, like I do, I don't be knowing their names, child. I don't be knowing their names. Let's see. We got Bill Bellamy's character. I don't even have. Yes, you do. His name is Julius. And Julius has a son. Do I have my glasses? I can't get up. I don't have my glasses with me, child. But that's okay. So you have Julius and his son and their family dynamics. Their family dynamics is Julius is very, very adamant about you can be successful without a college degree. And he is imparting that onto his son. However, his son is feeling this overwhelming pressure from his father to be the best. Unlike Carlton with his father, there is this overwhelming pressure to be the best. Is it right or wrong? I can't tell you. Because like I said, how fathers work with their sons and how fathers work with their daughters, whether we want to reconcile it or not, it is different. Fathers push their sons differently than they push their daughters. That's just a reality. You can buck against the system and that's fine, but it is a reality. I will tell you with these family dynamics, I am glad to see fathers being very active in their children's lives. Phil is very active with his children. Julius is very active with his child. Regardless of what we feel about whether he's pushing him too far or not, he is active with his child and his children feel the pressure. But I do like the fact that Julius's son and Phil's son have each other to be able to talk about these pressures that they feel, that they believe that nobody else is feeling. That's just point blank and period. So Phil, because he has decided to host it, he wants it to be perfect. He decided to host it, but it's really Viv doing most of the work. He's kind of coaxing her to do most of the work. He's also doing that with Hillary, Honeybee. Honeybee is making pies. Honeybee is doing all kinds of stuff. And so I think overall we see the Banks family, and we're talking about Carlton, Hillary, Ashley, and Will, are basically trying to show Uncle Phil, look, you so busy trying to win. And we're going to let you know that family means more than winning. And I will go over that a little bit. So we have, like I said, we have Uncle Phil's mother coming in, and Vivian is feeling a lot of pressure because you know how it is between mother-in-laws and their daughter-in-laws. Some mother-in-laws feel like their daughter-in-laws are not up to snuff for their sons. And so we have to congratulate this mother. She has two very successful sons in their own right. Julius has his own string of car auto car lots. He sells cars, and Phil is an attorney. And you can kind of sense the pressure. Julius explained to Phil that because they're competing, and they're competing big. Everything is a competition. I think Julius is used to winning these competitions. Phil is trying to make sure that he wins these competitions. So they have all kinds of things. They got flag football. They have pie eating. They have pie baking contests. They have a whole slew of things going on at this family reunion. So in the midst of all of that, Will is trying to get his footing in the whole place. So he's relying on Jeffrey to let him know who everybody is, what their role is, yada, yada, yada. We get this. You know how Will is. Will is Philly. He's very personable. He's a very personable young man. So it doesn't matter where he's at or who he's with. He is going to be able to be very personable with the people that are around him. Like I said, at first Vivian was feeling some kind of way about her mother-in-law because, the mother-in-law wants to be picked up. She don't want to ride with the van. She don't want to stay in the suite that they gave her. She wants to stay with the family. She brings in on the plane this whole bag of garden greens, which I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. From someone who keeps a garden of greens and mustards and turnips and collards grown in your backyard seem to taste way better than collards that you get out of the store. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the dew that sits on them in the morning. I don't know if it's because you crop them. I don't know exactly what it is, but even lettuce, greens, lettuce, everything seems to taste better when you grow them in your backyard, either in a container or whether you grow them in the ground. For some reason, they just taste better. And I don't blame her, but she had them babies picking and doing all kinds of greens for her. She had a whole bag full of greens. Jeez. I know them greens would stink. On the plane, and they got hot. You know them greens was stinking. Grandma was wrong with that. She could have brought them greens already cut up in a bag, cleaned and washed and everything. She just went out into her garden with the suitcase and just put those greens in that And I don't blame Carlton. Carlton was like, you bought all this on the plane, a hot plane. But anyway. So, like I said, the family had a lot of stuff going on. We see Ashley, her role is to be with the old people. And come to find out that, and I love, and like I said, they really need to do so much more with Ashley. But Ashley was able to talk with her uncle and find out that he was a Tuskegee Airman. And I'm like, it's a wonderful thing when young people can talk to the older people and get information and knowledge from him. And I really do like that because they just kind of threw him away. Like who he was and what he did wasn't important until Ashley had to tell him, we sitting here with a man that has done great things. And everybody's so worried. Julius and Yamakra, that's what I'm calling, because that's what they called him last season, his frat brothers. Julius and Yamakra are so busy worrying about competing with each other. This is a family reunion, and you should celebrate family. And when you have family members that are doing good or have a history that is admirable, you need to honor those family members. You really truly need to honor those family members, because so much so that, and even in my big old age as being a young person at one point in time, you kind of poof on what the older people say. But sometimes I sit around and think about, wow, I wish I, with me, doing gardening, with me being more in herbal, holistic ways of treating any health issues, I really wish that I would have listened, because I've had an aunt that would talk about, oh, you just need to go in the yard. One of my dad's aunts, you just need to go to the yard and pick this, and this. I remember hearing her talking about it, but I didn't listen like I should have listened. And now that knowledge is lost to me. I may pick it up and call and talk to somebody, but that particular knowledge is lost because, like I said, those people, we currently live unnaturally in a natural world. And so all the things that we look for as far as with health and food, a lot of those things have been, I'm using the word bastardized, adulterated. Adulterated is the better word. And so we're eating and consuming foods that have been adulterated, and we're not really consuming natural foods. Our taste buds, particularly here in the United States, our taste buds are really truly dumbed down. We don't know how things taste because of the fact that we put so much sugar in everything. Sugar is probably the most addictive substance that we have. Everybody worries about opioids and alcohol and everything, but everybody seems to poof about the sugar. And sugar, anyway. I'm on a tangent, people. So sorry. Let's get back, because grandma Banks greens then got me caught up. But anyway, so we see that between Julius and Phil, Julius is very, very tight with his mother. He you know how sons are with his mother, but also too, sometimes as children, we don't realize that our parents, we look at our parents as being our parents, our mothers and our fathers, and we do not realize that our parents are adults and they have lives, and they was out here doing their thing and everything before we came into play. But we get to be very selfish and think that, oh, because we're their children, they should always just be our mothers, or they should always just be our fathers, and that's the only role that we want to see them in. And I think that that's what was happening between Julius and his mother. He was trying to make sure that he took care of his mother since their father had passed, but at the same time it looked like he was smothering their mother, and she was letting Vivian know that she felt smothering. And I was so glad that Vivian kind of pulled out of her own little, oh, she doesn't like me type of mode, and really sat down and listened to her mother-in-law. And then you saw that they kind of got together, because she was like, no, I'm just feeling kind of smothered. Vivian offered for her to come out there. She was like, no, I don't want to do that, but I want to be my own person. I don't need Julius telling me when what I can do, because look like Mama Banks like a good 2 shots of Hennessy. And Julie's like, no, you're a mother, you shouldn't be drinking that. And Vivian kind of let her know, look, you could kick your hair back and relax. This is a reunion and you should relax. I got you. Wonderful thing to see. Carlton, like I said, that he was basically in competition with his cousin, but he also let his cousin know that he understood his plight. He understood their plight. So there was a lot of competitions, and Phil was losing those competitions because his children were trying to show him, look, there's more important things than you winning. There's more important things than you winning. And like I said, Ashley was able to talk with her uncle, her great uncle, who was able to tell her that she was a Tuskegee Airman. So now let's get to doggone Hillary. Baby, Hillary is on this phone trying to contact Jazz, because you remember the last episode, Hillary's ex-boyfriend has shown up. One thing that Uncle Phil has done, which to me is a big no-no, you never invite your children's ex to a family function. And that's what he did with Hillary's ex. He invited him to this family function because he wanted to one up Julius to say that I have this NFL player in my home. But in essence, he didn't realize how he made his daughter uncomfortable. But we also realize that this ex is trying to get back with Hillary because we find out some background information that when he was with Hillary, he was trying to stifle her. He was trying to make sure she was um, the arm candy, the good-looking girl that didn't say anything, and she catered to everything that he needed. That's not Hillary. He realizes now that when he's in the NFL and he had those women weren't what he wanted. And so now he is pursuing Hillary. Hillary is in a relationship with Jazz. Here's the problem. Jazz was in his feelings and he's not contacting Hillary. Now, I don't know if Jazz is working and he can't get back to the phone like he needs to or whatever, but Hillary is texting. She's been left on red. She wants him to come over. He doesn't. The ex NFL player, the boyfriend, is doing everything that he wants to do to be able to get to Hillary, and he's told Carlton and he's told Will that is what his plans are. He wants Hillary back. So we see now that there is going to be some tension between Jazz and Hillary in regards to this NFL player. The issue I had with Jazz was literally Hillary has been trying to contact him all day. Now, I'm not a big proponent of just because you text me at 12:02, you're expecting me at 12:04 to text you back. No. Everyone has a life. Everyone is doing things, and you shouldn't base your whole relationship on whether or not somebody texts you in the next 10 minutes. I don't understand that life, but I think if she texted you 2 hours ago, 4 hours ago, I think somewhere in there should be a text or a voicemail in that length of time saying, hey, I see that you text. I'm a little busy right now, but at such and such time, I'm going to text you back. But he left her on the red. And as soon as she put her phone down, not to be fooling with Jazz because Jazz wasn't texting her back, he go, Jazz texting her. Oh, you can come through. You can come to the thing. But she didn't get that text because the ex-NFL boyfriend is working on her and got her to come out and be with the family. I'm trying to see. But this is what we need to get into. We're going to spend a few minutes on this. You remember I told you this overall theme was about family. And one of the things that was interesting to me, remember I talked about we needed to find out about Jeffrey and his family. We find out a little bit more about Jeffrey. Y'all, Jeffrey was out here about that life. He was over there in London getting his gangland on. And we figured that there was something going on in his background. And so what we find out is this, that Jeffrey was over in London getting his gangland on, and he was in all that kind of activity, that gangster activity. And what happened was, whatever he had done, he had encountered the wrath of someone, and that someone was intended on killing his family. So he had to disappear. And so with him disappearing, the woman that birthed his child could no longer take care of the child. And she gave the said child up for adoption. So this is why Jeffrey, for the past couple of episodes, have been going through Phil's information, trying to figure out where his son is, because his son was placed for adoption. And so he feels really, really guilty about that. But he knew he had to leave so that his family could live. But in that whole process, he didn't leave enough or push enough that they could be able to live without him. So that's why he was looking for his son. He gets confirmation. He's feeling guilty, but he gets confirmation from Will. Your son would be proud to have a guy like you as his father, because I trust you, and I would consider you to be a great dad if you were my dad. So that gives him some confirmation. Also, Will goes and talks with Uncle Phil and Aunt Bill, and he says, we're family, and Jeffrey is family, and we need to help Jeffrey find his family. And so Uncle Phil figures it out, I guess. He gets his envelope and he lets Jeffrey know all the information he needs to know about his son, Frederick. Frederick has been adopted. Frederick is like 22. Frederick, it looks like he's at university. Frederick is doing well. And so I don't know at this point if Jeffrey's going to go to London and he is going to try to find his son. My prediction on that is because last year and earlier this year in episodes this year, Carlton is into Grand Prix racing. So we may have a setup where Carlton wants to go see his favorite driver drive in the Grand Prix, and they go over to London, and Jeffrey goes over to London, and he gets an opportunity to go see his son. I think that may be an issue or problem because if Jeffrey is still wanted in these streets, even after 20 plus years, that may lead to a problem with the son. It may lead to a problem with the son's biological mother. It may lead to a problem with the son's adopted parent. So I think I've covered pretty much everything. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it more because we found out more information about Jeffrey, more than what was really going on at the family reunion. Tell me what y'all think. That's pretty much what I have right now. We are getting into, what is it, episode 7. We don't have but maybe 3 more episodes to go, and Bel Air will be gone from our lives until season 3. They have been greenlit for season 3, and we're absolutely ecstatic about that. So that tells me that probably toward the end of the summer, the first of fall, they're going to start recording. Tell me what y'all think. I like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed this episode for family. How family dynamics play into different things. How sometimes when we can think a family member feels one way about you, once you sit down and actually have a conversation, and that's why communication, verbal communication with this person is very important. And I look at particularly Aunt Viv and her mother-in-law. She always thought that her mother-in-law thought one way about her. And then when Vivian sat down and talked to her, you realize that her and Vivian are pretty much the same. So you realize that Vivian is pretty much near her mother. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go over between Vivian and Phil is Vivian confronts Phil about Urk. He then tells her what's going on, that she's trying to poach him for her firm, and that he hasn't made a decision. And Vivian is, just basically says, this was going on. You need to talk with me because, vice versa happened before. When Vivian talked to Doc and she didn't talk to Phil, you remember it was so much problem. So it's just a matter of them making sure that they communicate with each other what they need to communicate with. And the last thing is, you remember Will was nominated for this Founders Award. And at first, Carlton was very upset about that. But then he's like, okay, competition. You want to be in it, Will? Be in it. May the best man win. So they're not beefing about the fact of this Founders Award. They're basically going to go in there and they're going to put their best foot forward and see who wins. Let me tell it, neither one of them are going to win, but it's going to be beneficial for them. I think I think Carlton and his drugs is going to push him out. I think Will and his cockiness is going to push him out, and whoever the third person is that's been nominated, that's my prediction. That's who's going to win. All right, people. Again, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be opened up to a plethora of videos, a playlist of videos of different movies, different series that I have reviewed. All right. We do this every week. So we will be into episode 7. Let me know what you all think about Bel Air. I still am going to be looking at this Onyx with Kerry Washington. I haven't looked at that right now because, like I said, for me, I've got a lot on my plate with Bel Air and The Mandalorian and any kind of movie that's coming out. But like I said, it is on Hulu. It is binge watchable, so I will do that. All right, people. All right. As always, bye bye.